Well, I'm using Havana Brown. I guess that's what this is. Havana ink, Waterman Havana ink. Except it's been mixed with about 20 other colors of ink that are neither brown nor Waterman. Some of them might not even have been ink. So consequently, it's quite dirty and messy and maybe clogs a little bit. It's hard to tell. My advice to you is don't use dirty ink because it's only going to make dirty drawings. And not the good kind of dirty. It doesn't necessarily make those kinds of drawings, though it can. Normally, when I put water on top of Waterman ink, it dissolves and disappears. But here you can see the ink is more or less, a lot of it is permanent and staying where it belongs. So I have a feeling that there's a lot of non-Waterman ink in here. So this is one of my newest pens. This arrived just a few days ago, and I rather like it. It's a short little stubby Waterman Taperite, and it means business. Another one that I got recently, the same load, was this one. Not this one. It was black, I think. Maybe it was this one. No? Yes. It's over here. Maybe it is that one. I thought it was black, but this one is burgundy. You know, the dark burgundy and the black are almost identical, especially when you live in a dark house like I do. So I will put a sack on this pen and maybe keep it, maybe sell it, I don't know. This one had a nib that was much more stiff, which I was not particularly taken by, though that does not mean that I won't change my mind. Because if there's anything I do often is to change my mind. You finally caught a broadcast, Will Hodge. Yeah, it's been hard for me to broadcast. It's hard for me to do anything. I'm just in a very weird place in my existence right now. I just don't know whether I'm coming or going. I think part of it is selling the family house. Part of it is coming back here after spending time in beautiful Minnesota, and now I'm here in not quite so beautiful Somerville, and wondering why don't I buy my family house and live there? Why do I live here? But then I remember how much fun it is to live here with a lot of people I know that live in the same building, and I rethink my priorities. So anyway, I'm using very dirty Waterman ink that I'm wondering why I'm doing that when I've got perfectly good black ink that you sent me, Will. when I'm just testing out nibs here, I feel I don't need to use expensive fancy ink. I guess this was the other one I bought. Let me just check my eBay purchases just to see if this was this one is the one that I bought. My eBay purchases. Winterman Taperite. Well, to me that looks like it's black, but it could be this one. Unless I can find, oh, not that one. Where did it go? I'm already losing my mind. The one I just had in my hand. This one. In the picture, this looked black. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. For those of you that will be watching this at a later date, Will mentioned he was at a funeral. Must have been it. Russell may join me shortly. We're going to be drawing something. I don't know what we're going to be drawing yet, but he sort of wanted to draw, so we'll see if he wants to draw with me. I wonder if I put it somewhere else. I'm forever moving boxes around because I never remember what I'm supposed to be doing with these boxes. There was a box of pens I was going to fix for myself, but I have no idea where they are. Hello, Mr. Scott. Yeah, that feller. He's now in South Carolina, about to start another master's degree in art history. So maybe he can explain that if and when he joins us. I'm not quite sure whether we have a particular plan to draw particular things, but maybe we do. I hadn't discussed this previously with him, so it'll be completely unscripted which is sort of how all of my things are unscripted. That feller. Well, you can write books. You can work eventually maybe at a museum. You could, there are things one can do, presumably with these things, though, you know, I'm sure Russell would make an excellent teacher, but for every minute you teach, there's 20 minutes that you don't have making art of your own, because teaching not only takes time, it sort of drains you in a way, especially when you're dealing with students that really don't appreciate all of your hard work. He says he has to pick up a package and he'll be right here. I don't know where the package is that he has to pick up, but he said he'll be right here. I'll be right with you folks. So I still have your list, Gary Scott, of who you want to invite to the dinner. I just haven't found the ledger book yet that I record these things, and I don't understand why I can't find it, because normally it's right here. Yes, it will turn up eventually. I want it to turn up now. I don't understand. Nice little pens, these little stubby Taporites. They are just cool. Long, slender ones are nice too. Nothing wrong with these. This is wrong though. This is supposed to have a chrome clip. Send that back to the factory. I have two of these. I could make earrings. You know what color these are? Can you see what color these are? They're supposed to be terracotta. I'm looking at the view of the the screen, and it's I can barely see the screen. The screen is parallel to the table. My eyeball is here, so I'm looking at it very sideways. Yeah, they have that sort of fishnet stocking 1950s look to them. They came in, I think, 3 colors, which you see right here: blue, red, and black. And I have them in their little frame here, their little lace delicate under thing kind of looking thing. I know it's an abomination. They may have the seam up the back, yes. So I'll be right back. So tomorrow we have another Urban Sketchers event, and we're going to the Cambridge City Hall, which is this big rough-hewn limestone or granite, I don't know what kind of stone it is, building in Cambridge. And it's just big and heavy, has lots of windows and arches, and I think, oh my God, what am I going to do with that? And I can always look away, which is often what I do when I go to these things. I aim my eyeball elsewhere. But see, this is what the building looks like. It's just one of these big clunky things that has lots of rough-hewn stone. And I found some paper that I thought maybe I'll draw on, and it's very rough. And I'll show it to you here. See? It's like someone took oatmeal and laid it out, spilled it on the floor, and then let it dry and turned it into paper. It looks kind of like a wheat thin. So how am I supposed to draw on this, I wonder? I thought I would use a very heavy pencil. I just thought it would be sort of interesting. I like to try new things when I'm at these meetups, because generally I'm drawing something that I normally wouldn't think of drawing. I can see that if I were to use a pen, I'd probably break the nib in no time at all. Let's see. Charcoal. I mean, it might be interesting to just see what happens. If I can even come up with anything that even remotely looks like something using this paper. Can't even see what it looks like. If you look straight down at it, you sort of have an interesting. It is kind of, it's papyrus is, papyrus almost looks like it's woven paper. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I don't know if I bring it or not. I initially thought I'd use pencils, or maybe pencils, lead, rather than a sharpened lead pencil, just a big stick of lead, which I have here somewhere. So you used to be able to get lead that was this thick. I thought this might be what I'd use, but I can see that that's not going to be helpful. So pastels would, I think pastels would get stuck on the top bits only. Pastel, the texture on pastel paper is relatively shallow. This is just really bumpy. So anyway, I'll see what I'll do. Maybe I'll bring it and try it out. Can't hurt, you know. The only thing that will be harmed would be that piece of paper. I did a really interesting drawing, well, last week. I say it's interesting, whether other people will think it is. It was a book. It was a bound sort of accordion book that was triangular in shape. So it was this long triangular thing. And I called it The Downspouts of Commonwealth Avenue. I'll show it to you in a minute if I can find it. Hello, Russell. Let me invite you. And when you join, I'll take a break and see if I can find that thing I did last week. Hey, Tasha. So Russell, click on the buttons and join us, and I'll let you chat with people for a second while I try to find that thing. I still don't know what Russell and I are going to draw. Maybe we'll just doodle, use up ink. I'll be right back. Oh, hell, I don't know where anything is. Okay, Russell, add to stream. Hello, Mr. Russell.
Hello.
You have to turn off the echo.
Yeah. The other computer was running things, so let's see if we can do an unboxing here.
Uh-oh, what did you get?
I'm gonna open up. I don't know what I got yet, but I have a suspicion. Better not show my address on the internet.
Is it ticking?
I'm checking here. I don't hear any ticking so far.
Okay.
But let's take a look.
Are you at your home or your office?
I am at my apartment. I do not get an office.
Okay.
That is, I assume, is for fancy people. People fancier than me at the university.
How is that possible?
I mean, it's very possible. So how have you been?
I've been okay.
Anything going on other than drawing with dirty ink?
Drawing with dirty ink. Having dirty thoughts.
I mean, yeah, that's a given for all of us here. Okay. Well, I got a smorgasbord of things. Let's see. So I'll just pull things out here. I got green tea.
Okay.
I got a bag of almonds here. Right here. They're the Blue Diamond brand. A bunch of bags of macadamia nuts.
Okay.
And then some boxes of chocolate. So yeah,
Okay.
big exciting stuff.
And was this stuff that you ordered, or was this you have a secret admirer?
I have a secret supplier.
I see.
No, I just had a bunch of that stuff that I had bought at the store, and it was at home since I didn't bring it with me up here. So I had Dad just mail it down to me.
I see. Well, he's a good dad.
Let's see. I'm trying to find my thing here.
Well, Hodge, I have something I can show you here. It's a cheese board in the shape of Texas. How's that for? Or cheese?
Did you say a cheese board in the shape of a what?
Texas, or for crackers, maybe. What do you think?
I'm still not quite certain what it is, but I think it's good.
It's in the shape of Texas.
Oh, in the shape of Texas. Now I understand.
And I think it is used for holding crackers or something.
Well, why would you use a cheese board for holding crackers?
Well, it was not a cheese board. It would come out with the cheese board. Maybe the cheese board is in the shape of Oklahoma or something.
I don't have any clever responses to that.
I was at a art and craft show, a very fancy one. I don't know why I was there. And there was a woman who had a booth, and she sold little brooch-like pins that were maybe an inch square, and they were clear plastic, and in the middle of this clear plastic thing was a little silhouette she would cut out of black paper of the states of the Union. And so there was one of West Virginia, and she would cut these out with her little tiny scissors, and they were maybe this big.
Huh.
And I asked her if she gave a discount for the ones that were shaped like Colorado, or which is the state that's just a rectangle? Is that Colorado?
I don't know. You might have to ask somebody who's better informed about geology.
Geography.
Well, there you go.
What is the state that looks like a rectangle? People in the room, is it Colorado? And I said, do you give a discount for people that want Colorado because it's only 4 straight lines? And she looked at me like I had 3 heads. They were like $50 a piece for these little tiny paper cutouts.
I mean, I guess it would take a certain amount of ability to do them that as small as it seems they would be.
It would, yes. I'm not suggesting that
that the price was unfair.
That it was fair. No, it was.
But that there should probably be a discount for one that was very simple to make.
I would think so. And Hawaii, I don't know how you do that one because it's.
You just do a hole puncher and give people the discards.
State. Okay, search. I just typed in state. We'll see if Google gives us that. What do you mean no results? The fuck? How can there be no results?
Google does not know what a state is. Google doesn't know the state, it only knows the open market.
Yes. So United States, if we zoom in, Wyoming.
Well, you were close.
See, Wyoming is a rectangle.
I always knew they were a bunch of
Colorado
squares.
looks like it's a rectangle too. Are they both rectangles? There's an echo, we are being told.
Yeah, he says this when you're talking, so I'm not too certain whether it's me or whether it's you.
Well,
it might be me because I know that this room is very echoey.
I see. Well, to me here, it looks as if there are 2 states that are rectangles. I thought there was only one, but you're according United States shapes. So what do I get? Quincy Market. What the fuck is wrong with Google today?
You've bamboozled the Google, I suppose.
There we go. United States shapes. This is, if you look at Wyoming and Colorado, okay. Oh, for God's sake. See the blue one and the purple one underneath it?
Yes.
According to this, it's there. No, I don't want to play Google games. It's getting me crazy. What are we drawing today, Russell?
I don't know. Let's do a discount stream and draw Wyoming.
Yes, and Colorado. People can guess. People can guess what it is.
Yes, I don't really have any particular ideas for drawing today.
See, here's another example of Wyoming and Colorado.
Two of the most boring states in the union, at least in terms of shape.
In terms of shape, yes. And the both Dakotas are sort of rectangular. So what are you're using a paintbrush.
Yeah.
Is there a way, Russell, where you can plug earphones into your device so maybe you don't hear me directly?
Yeah, I can do that.
See if that will fix the.
Let's see if this will help. Okay.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me, Russell?
Yeah, but it's, can you hear me?
Can
Can, I think I can hear you now.
and I don't hear it.
Are you not hearing me?
Okay. I'm hearing you fine.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is there a big delay now?
I'm not certain if there's an echo now. I don't hear an echo. I never heard an echo myself other than
I
the one in the room.
Okay. I don't hear an echo either, but are you hearing me?
Yep. No echo.
Is there a delay?
There's a slight delay, but it should be fine.
Okay.
So
So, have you started classes yet?
yeah, I've started classes quite a bit back, so I've been keeping myself busy with all of that.
Okay, good.
It's let's see, the one I'm doing grades for is History of Asian Art, and then I'm taking the classes Problems in Baroque Art, and then Problems in German 20th Century Art, and then the Art of the Black Diaspora.
Okay, I have to ask you a question. What is one of the problems of Baroque art?
First of all, defining exactly what counts as Baroque.
Okay,
So
I could see that's a problem.
yeah, that's a big problem to start off with right there, because I mean, the moment Baroque is sort of defined as an anti-classical movement, but that
Yeah,
doesn't really count very much because of Baroque really had its start with the Carracci, who were very heavily inspired by the Cinquecento, the classicists.
yeah,
And of course, it had its followers that were doing very classical stuff. But then you're getting into all sorts of shades of it, and it was a movement that was, like many other movements, defined well after
after
it came.
yeah. Well, I think that's the problem. The problem is whoever.
The problem is that Baroque art does not exist, and we're
Yes,
studying it.
yes, that's the problem. One of the problems is it didn't exist until someone that got a PhD 300 years ago decided it existed.
Yes.
Is there another problem you have with it? Because it was more than one problem. It was problem.
Yeah, there are multiple problems with it. One of the other problems, I suppose, is if it is Baroque, how do you fix it?
Bump, bump, bump. Yes. Can Baroque art be repaired?
Yes.
I think that should be your thesis.
How do we repair Baroque art?
Yes.
Or go Baroque or go home.
Yes. Going for Baroque.
Yes.
Good. Well, I can see that would be a problem, but if you say any artistic form, whether it be Mannerist or Impressionist or Cubist or whatever, you're going to find, people existing in those camps that would never have thought themselves Cubist or Mannerist.
Yeah, I mean, the Baroque artist wouldn't have even known what you were talking about.
Yeah. So I have a new phone cover. Can I show this on TV?
Oh, that's William Adolph Bouguereau.
Bouguereau, yes.
Bouguereau. You chose
Yeah.
something really classy. Where in the hell did you get that monstrosity?
that was in the mailroom, or in the BBX. But the case I had before was sort of covering up part of the lens. So I thought, well, this one doesn't cover up part of the lens, but you've got a naked dame. I think, if you look at Bouguereau's paintings long enough, I think you get cavities in your teeth. I think that just the sugariness of it just eats away at your enamel.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that it would. I'd say it'd give you diabetes before it'd rot your teeth.
Probably, but God, they're just awful.
They're not great. They're basically just, they're soft porn, but
yes.
But with the Venus, not Venus de Milo, but you know what I mean. But with Venus inserted into them as an excuse.
Yeah, let's throw some goddess and little cherubs with little wings.
Yeah, and then people will get it. Then the rich men will
put over in their boudoir.
Will buy it and put it over their
4-poster.
Yeah, they'll put it in the bathroom to do. I mean, presumably to contemplate while they're
yes,
while they're pooping.
Whatever.
Or something else. I don't know.
So you're drawing a naked lady. I can sell that. Right
yeah, we're drawing Venus coming out of the waves here, and
let me turn Bouguereau over here, so I'll try to do my rendition of the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know whether mine will be entirely faithful, but you
can tell mine isn't right now.
We're gonna try and copy the spirit of the thing.
Spirit of the thing. Pink. Puce porcelain dames and cherubs and calligraphic pre-Raphaelite hair.
Mine sort of got an olive oil physique going right here.
Mine has a Venus de Willendorf thing going on here.
Well, I mean, the Venus of Willendorf had some character at the very least.
Yeah. Take the Venus de Milo and the Michelin Man, and you've got the Venus de Willendorf.
Now we know our antique origins. We were all Michelin men at one point.
Yes.
And then man looked up and saw the Michelin stars.
So in the art library, there was a 20-pound book of portraits by Ingres.
No. I mean, those are actually interesting.
They're actually interesting, and as you had mentioned, that Ingres didn't show his drawings because no one would buy his paintings. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, he claimed. So the story goes that somebody had asked him, why don't you show your drawings? And he said, if I showed my drawings, nobody would ever look at my paintings.
Well, that's very true. It's exactly true.
I mean, his drawings are really, really good.
and they're delicate and they're ephemeral, and they're, you know, when he puts the person in oil, they become they're almost like they turn into statues or something. They don't look, they look permanent. I don't know if I'm saying what I'm
No,
trying.
they look like they're frozen in place,
They're
right?
frozen. Yeah, they're frozen. They're not breathing. They're just they've been stuck in amber. And
Let's see.
um,
I mean,
but
in certain cases, I think that adds to an interesting effect. I can't remember the portrait, the name of the woman that he did sitting in front of the mirror. Do you
uh
recall the one I'm talking about, where she's wearing the blue dress?
yeah, yeah.
That one I think has a really interesting effect with with, you know, that sort of frozen feeling there.
Well, this isn't the picture because her dress isn't blue.
Yeah, it's a different version, it looks like.
But he is in front of that mirror. Um, but I know the one you mean. It's a very cold blue,
Mm-hmm.
but again, the drawings are just so. And you know, one of my favorite paintings he did is the fat banker. This guy
Oh yeah, that one's a good one.
with his little pudgy. His fingers are bigger than you are.
I could believe that.
But the drawings are just, they're,
Well, he manages to do them, and he knows how to add enough detail, right?
yeah. I mean, he's not going to, it's like he spends, on the painting, he spends 90% of the time on the fucking fabrics.
Yeah,
And just
and making
on the
sure
face.
that and also making sure that the paint is very smooth.
Yeah. Not a, oh, this one, you're thinking this dame.
Yes, that's the dame.
Yeah, she does look like she's already turned into ice.
But the effect of it is pretty good, I think.
But the drawings he did, here's the two sketches that went into it. And oddly enough, he didn't draw the face on those. He was trying to get the pose.
Yeah, some of the drawings he did, I know, were portrait drawings that he did for, you know, rich people who just showed up in his studio wanting a drawing. And then, of course, there's going to be his studies as well for his paintings.
This unfortunate woman, her hair matches the Vesuvius's cloud.
Oh, well, I mean, I thought that somebody had just hit her on the head real hard.
She's the anyway. Portraits by Ingres. So you're drawing a cherub. What are you doing?
Drawing little cherubs all over the place because you need those.
You need cherubs to keep it away from being just pornographic entirely.
Yeah, that's what you know, because you can't really masturbate with the children in front of you.
I suppose you could.
If you can, then you have problems.
I was thinking, you know, Instagram likes to censor people who draw the human figure. And I thought, I'll take some of my rather explicit drawings and have an image of, you know, the interior of St. Peter's in Rome, you know, some little nook with all sorts of
Yes.
frescoes and shit on them. And I'll just cut and paste one of my nasty bits right in this thing and post it and see if the little Instagram censor bots see through the cardinals and the Pope delivering mass to the nasty bits in the distance. You think I have any? You think that'll fly?
Hard to tell. I'm not familiar with the efficacy of Instagram's robots.
Yes.
But I think there's a chance you could manage to get through. As long as it looks like it's in a classical setting, then you're good. So there we have it.
Will suggests that Instagram would love a nice lady with child bearing hips and a penis. So
it can be done.
It can be done. So can we talk about your housemates or not?
Do you have a problem with them? Or are they?
No.
Are they bothering you?
They're not bothering me at all. I'm just wondering if you've had a chance to get to know them any better than just in passing or whatever.
Not really, no. I can't say I have.
Okay.
They pretty much keep to themselves, I say.
Yeah. Well, they're also undergrad, you said, correct?
Yeah, they're undergrads, so it's not like I'd have much to say to them.
They're going to be dealing with, frat parties and all that kind of stuff, I suspect.
Yeah, they'll be. They got their own lives. I do not.
Of course you do. But I know what you mean.
I lead the life of the thinking man.
And now what are you doing?
I have no idea.
I see. Matt went in to get a colonoscopy the other day, and I said I would go. What they require is there has to be a human with a car, that a friend of or an acquaintance of his, to take responsibility for picking him up after the procedure.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't let you just walk out or ride your bicycle, or because you're still partially sedated. And they won't let you. They used to not let you be able to take a cab, but now they allow you to take an Uber, but it's a special Uber that will cost you $125.
What? Why?
Because they are, in addition to driving you back to where you came from,
driving you into debt.
They also will drive you into debt, or they're somehow they have an insurance policy that covers a problem or something. I really don't quite know. So I said, and then Matt got this call saying that they moved his procedure up sooner in the day. So he tried to call this service, and the guy never answered the phone. So I said, well, I'll go in with you, and I'll just hang out and draw Fenway Park, or have lunch, or delete old emails, or do whatever. for the 2 hours, and then we'll go home together. I'll get an Uber and I'll put you in the Uber and I'll go home. So that was our cunning plan. And but he called me an hour into my drawing of Fenway Park to say that he was on his way to the emergency room because he was having a heart attack or something. There was something wrong with his heart. He had some fast heartbeat fibrillation or whatever it is. And
Yeah, I feel like if he were having a heart attack, he probably wouldn't have been calling you.
well, I mean, again, and so he went to the emergency room and was there for hours and hours while he continued to have his heart attack or whatever the hell it was before they saw him. So he's just decided he's not going to bother to get a colonoscopy ever again in his life. It was funny when we were not funny when we were waiting for the Uber to pick us up here. He was feeling faint, and I'd never ever seen him feel faint before or look faint and say he was faint.
Right.
And so he sat down on the stoop, and I said, "How are you?" And he said, "He's okay." And so then he lost 10 pounds that last night.
What? In
You
what? Water?
because you take all this stuff to get everything out of your system.
Oh.
And so you spend, a day on the toilet removing stuff.
Looking at your Bogoro.
Looking at your Bouguereau. And you're also, not allowed to drink or eat any solid food the day before. And you only can eat certain kind of things the day before that. And then the day of your procedure, you're not even allowed to have water. So he's running on empty, and he lost 10 pounds. So of course he's feeling faint.
Yeah.
And so I said, your body is going through a hell of a lot of trauma when you're 66 years old. So anyway, he's fine now, but he's not going to go in to get one.
Can't blame him.
No.
No, I actually went to donate blood the other day.
Yeah.
Because I thought, hey, I'll do a good thing for once in my life, and I don't have any money. I can give people blood though. So I go in there and I get everything and wait through the whole procedure, and then I get on the table and they have trouble getting through into the veins.
Oh.
They finally get in there.
Yeah.
After adjusting it about 1 million times.
Yeah.
And they got a whole bag out of me, but then they just they didn't end up getting the last few vials they needed, so they basically had to throw out this whole bag of blood they took from me. So I told them if they were doing a sacrifice anytime soon, feel free to help themselves.
And what did they say to that?
They laughed.
I have a feeling okay. I would think that taking a bag of blood out of you would cause you to also faint.
Well, I didn't really feel that great while I was doing it, but I managed to stay conscious through it. Their comment was just, "You just don't have enough blood."
Well, that's what
I had enough blood to fill up a bag.
Well,
but not enough to actually finish the job.
Yeah. Well, again, you are lucky in this day and age to be as thin as you are, and in the world of
I am. You can say I'm a wuss. It's fine.
No, you're not a wuss. You're hardly a wuss. You gave blood. I've never done that, but you're very slight.
Yes.
Slight, and if we all were equally slight, we'd be in a much better world, I think. But there are people like me who eat 3 times more than they should and ask for seconds, you know?
Well, I wouldn't think of it that way, but
M. Russo says using electrolytes helps with fasting for colonoscopy. Pedialyte is good.
Pedialyte, yeah.
It sounds like something you give pedophiles when they have an urge. Do you have an urge when you're watching the kids at the playground? Do you have these urges? Well,
Well, try.
stem those urges with Pedialyte. Oh God!
The only doctor recommended child substitute.
God, we're just awful.
Well, I mean, I knew that already. That's the reason I hang out with you.
Oh, but how did you know about Pedialyte?
There's a sensitive question there.
Well, you knew right. You knew all about it, Mister. I'd never heard of it before.
Maybe it's my inner child that told me. I don't know.
That's what you give babies when they puke and shit. I see.
Oh, okay.
So, how many naked dames have you done so far? Drawing. I'm not talking about dames you've done.
0, in both responses.
Well,
at least in the last few minutes.
I've done 2. You've done 1 at least. Did you do another one before?
Nope, I just did some freak. But I can do another naked dame.
Do another naked dame.
Let's do another naked dame. Or the fun YouTube channel. Why didn't you title this Drawing Naked Dames? We would have gotten so many views.
Well, I didn't know we were going to be drawing naked dames.
That's a good point. But you never know. You always, when it comes to naked dames, you always have to be prepared.
We could have been drawing turtles all the way down.
So Lisa Yarost, I think I'm pronouncing, is Noodler's Ink okay for fountains pens?
I love Nathan Tardif, the owner of Noodlers Incorporated or whatever it is, LLC. I've known him for 35 years or longer, but I do not like his inks. And his inks, I find, or they used to anyway, they may be better now, his inks never flowed fast enough for me. I hear that they're okay for fountain pens, but they may not be okay for the kind of writing or drawing you do. If you draw quickly or write quickly, they may skip on you. That was the problem, a problem that they had for me. They also didn't dry. I did a whole wedding's worth of envelopes, and I went to pack them up, and I got blue ink all over me. Where'd the blue ink come from? And the envelopes are still not dry yet after a day. And I thought, well, this is not going to work for me, let alone the post office.
So the problem is that they don't flow fast enough
for you? They're really thick. It's like, imagine drawing with crude oil or something. They're just very, very thick, and they're permanent, and they don't fade, and they don't smear, and they do smear because they don't dry. But they may be better now. I know that this was a problem that I had, a decade ago, so he may have improved them. But there are other people in the room that might know this better, or on various other sites that talk about pens and ink.
Well, I do not know Noodler's pens, but I'd suspect that if you're using Noodler's pen, Noodler's ink would work probably fairly well in it. But I've had that trouble with inks that just don't flow, like you're mentioning here,
No.
right?
No.
Actually, I discovered, that one tiny or that technical pen that I use.
Yeah.
I found I was using an ink that was not the Rotring brand for it.
Uh-huh.
Right. And I switched to the Rotring brand, and now it just flows incredibly well. I don't think that's necessarily saying that the Rotring brand ink is better, just that, the pen was made for Rotring ink.
Yeah, I think this is the pen that has the needle that goes through the, I think that might require a different kind of ink.
It does. The one I used said it could be used in technical pens, but I feel like that might just be an exaggeration.
Well, yeah, it all depends on, the ink delivery system with a technical pen is different than a fountain pen. There's a lot more air. Well, there's air that happens. Air goes in, ink comes out, air goes in, and the air and the ink are next to each other. With a technical pen, there's never any air that's anywhere near the ink until it's on the paper. So there's, I think, regular ink just doesn't want to flow in the first place, and maybe this more special ink works. What does Tasha say? Noodler's also has a habit of eating ink sacs. Yeah, that's another issue. I don't use them myself just because I find they don't flow fast enough for me. That's the main reason. Waterman works great. Parker Schaefer, Montblanc, they all work fine for me. Even this dirty ink is working okay. So how's Moose and the rest of them?
Oh, they're doing fine. Everything's sort of ramping up. People are showing their projects and getting everything done. I'm slacking off a little bit because, what the hell do I really care?
Yes,
I'll eventually have to do something to placate them because I sort of feel bad leaving them out in the lurch, but
Well, they are. If anyone deserves to be let out in a lurch, it's Moose and his friends. But I know that you were in it for the laughs. We're in it for the yucks.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get quite as many as I could have.
Well,
but that's life.
Maybe it'll be fine soon when they mortgage their houses to buy NFTs, and then the market will go to hell in a handbasket.
That could very well happen.
You have a profile of a dame.
Yes. Then I have another dame here too.
Wow.
Your dames are much more well constructed than my dames.
Well, I was copying Bouguereau.
Oh, I see.
You were
I was
using,
about to say you're supposed to be the homosexual here, and you're drawing excellent dames.
but I'm copying.
You're just doing what all of the religious right wing extremists would like you to do, and pretend that you're not.
Yes. Oh, so I'm going to go out and have pizza tonight.
Where at?
There's a place in Union Square that is good, and that'll be my excitement.
What is your preferred type of pizza? If it's pineapple, we can't be friends.
It's not pineapple.
Okay, we can be friends.
I like lots of different kinds. I'm happy with. I like pizza that has thin crust rather than the big fat doughy, crust that's the width of a mattress. I don't need one of those.
Right.
And I like capers. I like all sorts of stuff.
See, I don't think I've ever had a pizza with capers on it before.
Well, try it. They're sort of like anchovies without them being fish.
Yeah, I know. I've had capers before, just not on a pizza.
And Gary's asking what's wrong with pineapple.
If you have to ask, then you're already lost. I mean, the pineapple pizza is a national joke in Italy.
I see. Okay.
Really, I mean, they absolutely despise it, and they've made it a thing. They treat the pineapple pizza here like you would treat, putting ketchup on a steak. So yeah.
Okay. There was a restaurant that I was at that had, I think it was a pizza restaurant in New York City, and essentially anything that they had in the kitchen you could make put on a pizza. and Tom Treller looked at it. He's the first where his eyes lit. He said, "Oh, we could have a pizza with hamburger and blueberries." I almost threw up.
Yes, I agree, Lisa. American pizza is its own animal. I only make fun of the pineapple crew because I like to make fun of the pineapple crew. I'm trying to ingratiate myself with the Italians.
We do have funny, weird food things like scallops wrapped in bacon. Like, who ever thought that should have happened? And yet it's a thing that is on every hors d'oeuvre platter I served at the Museum of Fine Arts.
I've never known such a thing. It sounds like a way too fancy version of hot dogs wrapped in bacon.
But a hot dog and bacon are from the same animal.
Yes, they are.
At least.
I mean, I guess maybe at the Metro. You said it was what at the which museum?
Museum of Fine Arts. Museum of Fine Arts.
Museum of Fine Arts. Maybe they just didn't want to have Jewish people in the crowd.
Maybe. So I have to show you the MFA has a brand new logo.
I don't know whether I should feel scared or.
Well, you'll see it in a second as soon as I can figure out where it is.
Yes, absolutely. The Chinese food in America is also its own beast. Uh, like that's a common knowledge today. Although whenever my and I'm pretty sure Mexican food too that you would go to in your average, quote unquote Mexican restaurant. That's this, it's vaguely Mexican, but it's made for American taste. But I'm fairly certain my dad thinks that that's what, Mexican people would really eat to a certain, maybe I think he's aware that it's a little bit different than that, what they would actually eat. But I think he's fairly convinced of its veracity, let's say. And of course, he's the type who always comments like, every Mexican restaurant is a little bit different, even though they're all pretty much the same. There's whenever we go to Mexican or Thai food, that's the one thing he consistently says over and over again.
Huh. Maybe I dreamt that they did this.
Here's a question: do you think vegetarians can be Americans?
Are you asking me or people in?
Yeah, I'm asking you specifically, but if anybody wants to.
I think if you want to make America great, you can't be. You have to eat all of the hamburgers you can get.
That's what I figured. There was just a comment saying Americans love everything wrapped in bacon, which is true. That is true. But I'm being a vegetarian, not my prerogative. And now, of course, here's the part where people rag on me for being a vegetarian after I ragged on everybody else for liking pineapple pizza.
Okay, so here was the old logo. Look like that, which isn't particularly interesting to me.
Vegetarians, yes. Vegans, no. I have lost.
And this is the new
because
one.
MFA Boston. It looks like it's advertising the New York subway.
Yeah, I know. That's what people are saying. It looks like it's a subway stop or something.
Well, it's all done in I think it's Nordic font is what it is, but
something soulless.
Yeah, nothing particularly. There's Miss Marilyn. Will Hodges says it's America. You can be whatever the fuck you want, except a communist.
Except a communist, yes.
So I've lost on that one too.
You've lost on that, and a homosexual communist. I've lost out twice. I don't know if I'm a communist. I'm just
You're just a lefty, we'll say.
I'm just a iconoclast, I think.
Fair enough. Maybe that's not the best thing for you to be if you're that a person that's that into art, but maybe I'm being too literal. What you mean is that nothing is sacred to you.
Little is sacred. Actually, nothing is sacred, but some things are of worth and value.
Nothing is sacred, but some things are nice.
Some things are nice, but nothing is sacred. We certainly know that capitalism is going to be the death of the entire planet. So let's just keep tearing apart every natural resource we have to sell something, make something to sell someone something.
So Tasha Prime has said veggie bacon is a thing, even but it's a farce. I say yes, but I will also let you know now that those bacon crumbles that they sell for you to put on your salads has always been fake bacon. Bacon flavor is a thing.
Yes.
I don't mean that to change your opinion on the food. I just felt like pointing that out. No, I think, did I say Miss Marilyn came in? Because Miss Marilyn came in.
Yes, I did see.
Okay.
I did hear and I did see.
So I'm just doing dames now, I guess. I mean, I'm drawing dames anyway.
You're drawing dames. We're not going to make that leap.
We're drawing
Actually
French
doing
girls. Yeah, we're not leaping into that that bed there.
That cauldron. That.
You know what my dad said? Dames is nothing but trouble.
Was that his advice to his son?
No, that was a verdict he made on the bench.
Oh dear. Dames is nothing but trouble. Oh dear. So what are your, now that you've moved to a new state, who are your senators and congressmen? Are they, who's in
I don't
Carolina?
know, but they're the people that I'm going to run out of the state, I guess. They're the people they're the people I'm going to rebel against. Let's say that. Lisa Rost says, as a dame, I would have to agree that dames is nothing but trouble.
Dames is nothing but trouble.
I prefer what we were moving my older brother, and I prefer what one young woman who was having constant fights with her partner, by her female partner, that is, just to put some extra context in there. Yeah. Said she come out and she was on the phone and she said, "Bitches be ungrateful."
Bitches be ungrateful.
Bitches be ungrateful.
Okay.
And sometimes they can be, but you know what? I think that sometimes bitches can be fun.
I suppose that's true. I've got Venus doing the sham shimmy here, I guess.
Yeah, this is a sort of futurist Venus.
This ink is kind of neat. It's this gray, dirty gray green color.
Yeah, it has that. It looks like it's just sort of gotten old and lost its vigor, as it were.
That's probably what it did, because it sits on my desk with its cap uncapped.
I don't know what to put around this dame.
Well, make her do the shimmy too. Add little futuristic jiggles.
You got it.
So this,
well,
I may try to do drawings on this kind of paper tomorrow.
That looks like either a sheet of mold or drywall.
or a wheat thin. And then I don't
A
know
wheat
what
thin that you put in the wash.
I don't know what it is, but it's kind of neat, and I'll maybe try to do this big ponderous building tomorrow at Urban Sketchers on that paper, just because it's the building is Cambridge City Hall, which is a tasteless pile of granite. No, I don't know if it's what it is, limestone. This is what it looks. Oops, it looks like that.
It
So
looks like a McMansion.
so it's very bumpy, rough hewn, and so I'll draw it on pre-textured paper. Have you ever been to Philadelphia, Russell?
I think I might have, but I don't remember if I have. I probably have, if it's just probably I was passing through.
Well, the State House, City Hall, Carl Baedeker describes as a tasteless pile of granite, which it is. It's way tasteless, but because it's so weirdly proportioned, I'll show you what it looks like. It's covered with really cool bas-relief sculptures, though, and bric-a-brac everywhere, but the whole proportion of it is awful. So here's what it looks like from above.
Okay.
So it's like
It's got sort of this very complex ribbing and everything.
it looks like it's the Louvre with a Saturn V5 rocket about to take off.
Right.
It's the tower is way too fat and way too big and way too everything. And oh, here it says built of brick, marble, and limestone. It doesn't say granite, but Baedeker calls it a tasteless pile of granite. So Cambridge City Hall.
Now, who is Baedeker's?
Baedeker was a tour guide company back when Europeans were starting to tour the world. So here's the Cambridge City Hall, and they're Milford granite, trimmed with Longmeadow brownstone. So let me show you a Baedeker guide.
I think he got lost looking for the guide.
What was that?
I said I thought you got lost looking for the guide.
Here's the Baedeker Guide for the United States, and they're little red volumes, and they were published by the Carl Baedeker Company in the 1800s and into the 20th century. and they were known for their very accurate maps. And during World War II, when the Americans were coming through Western Germany, the Germans would, take all the signposts down and make new ones pointing the wrong way, but they used Baedeker guides to get through.
I'm
This is
sorry, but I like how the Germans basically did cartoon villain tactics there.
yes. So anyway, this is a Baedeker guide and Handbook for Travelers, 1909. This one. Here's Boston, and where I live, there is nothing here yet. Let me find Philadelphia. Newark, Williamston, Gettysburg, Philadelphia. Restaurants, hotels, and this is, again, they didn't have the interweb. The people that traveled were wealthy. They but they may not know English or whatever, so they'd take a Baedeker with them. History, industry, streets, City Hall Square. In City Hall Square, at the intersection of Broad Street and Market Street in the center of the city, stands City Hall, generally known as the Public Building, a tasteless pile with a granite basement story and a white marble superstructure. Tasteless pile.
I think that's a great motto for America.
Tasteless pile. I have a Baedeker guide that a couple of them that are that translate English, French, German, English, and Italian. So you have, and it's made for all of the countries that speak those languages. It's
right.
It's not. It's just the same thing described in different languages. So most of it is pretty nasty, speaking quite nastily to servants, to the inferiors. Go faster, row faster. I'm getting quite seasick. Fetch me. No, one of my favorites is under the illnesses thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not feeling well, it was, bring me fresh leeches. These do not bite.
I need to know that. I need to know that in every language.
Well, let me get that book. It's going to take a while. The other, take my boots off. These boots are too tight, or that's too much money. I want to go faster. Don't go fast. Another favorite one is, take me to see the king.
Like who in the world just has the presumption to assume that they are important enough to see the king?
Well, the people that would
I really like the idea of going to America and saying, take me to see the king. Although I'm sure that wasn't in the translations for that one.
Hold on 1 second.
How are we feeling out there, chat? I can't wait to learn how to get some leeches.
What do you think it will be in Italian?
I don't know the word for leeches in Italian, but it depends on how polite you want to be, I guess.
Traveler's Manual of Conversation, and I've got one that's just Manual de Conversation, but they should be both the same. At the inn. I wish to see the landlord of the hotel. I wish my bedroom to be on the first floor. Bring me fresh water.
Portami acqua dolce.
Portami dell'acqua fresca.
Acqua fresca e acqua dolce. I'm pretty sure anyway.
Fresh water, or you want dolce is sweet, isn't it?
Dolce is sweet, but it's in the sense that like there's acqua salata, which would be salt water, and then acqua dolce, I believe, is fresh water.
Okay,
but maybe I'm wrong.
Again, think of someone in 1870,
Right.
1864, traveling in a hotel. I want my bed warmed directly. The bed seems very hard. Are the sheets well aired? Where is the water closet? My boots are quite wet. Will you have them thoroughly dried for me by tomorrow morning?
Like that one sounded as if it was just an expectation on your part.
Yes. Well,
and that you're making certain.
Yeah. Will you have this chest of drawers wiped out? It is quite dirty. Close the shutters. I want my coat brushed. It's all just, demands.
No snowflakes back in the 1800s. They just wanted everything done for them.
In a shop, what is the price of this article? How much? I cannot give so much. Can you not take less? It is very cheap, but it is not very good. These are not durable. Do you make any deduction? I mean, they're all just, why don't you take this piece of gold and give me the difference?
I know that it's in the 1800s, but I still love asking change for a lump of gold you give somebody at the store.
Yeah. Do not be afraid, gentlemen. In our house, the same sheets are never given to two persons.
What?
I want the sheets that man stayed in.
Yeah.
The sea is rare. But the sea is very rough, and the waves are very high. It is rolling of the vessel makes me sick. I've got a headache. The smell of the tar affects me. I'm very much inclined to be sick.
I just feel rather inclined towards that right at the moment.
What bird is that?
That's my wife, sir.
It is a seagull, is the response.
Oh, è un gabbiano.
One of them was, I don't know if I can find it. Whose castle is that? It's for my part, I shall follow my trunk. Do you have anything to declare at the breakfast? Dinner. I have to find the leeches. T. Railway journey. The hotel, at the inn, roads, on the steamboat. What o'clock do you think it is?
What o'clock is it?
To buy a horse? The horse walks, trots, and gallops. he is a spirited horse, and he has neither faults nor vices.
This horse is of a is a very
a
upstanding citizen
that gambles and smokes. Engaging a servant. To pay a visit. A lady at her toilet. Clean that looking glass a little. It is quite dull. I look very ill this morning. I did not sleep well last night. On the contrary, madam, your complexion is very good and your eyes are quite lively. To a woolen draper, the tailor, the shoemaker, to a washerwoman, supper. Well, I have to find this leeches thing, otherwise you'll never believe it. The breakfast. Traveling, railway journey, dialogues, shop, town. I don't think there's a table of contents. The inn, board a steamboat. A kettle drum. Try this one. 1873. This is a little bit more modern.
Yes, it took. Will Hodges was just pointing out that it took one quite a while to get ready to go anywhere at that point in time. And I'm inclined to agree just as much as I'm inclined to be seasick.
Board a steamboat. This carriage is not comfortable. It is not enough. I never eat at night. I will not go to your house. They have supped. Huh. Well, this one doesn't. This has just vocabulary. It doesn't really. Traveling carriage. My wife must have her maid near her.
Otherwise, what cause of trouble could she get into?
Yes, the maid can stay with me. My wife can be by herself. Can you take care of the horses? I like a glass of wine very well, but I never get drunk. How old are you? This is when you're hiring a servant. Come sit down to pay a visit. Come make haste. Lady at her toilet. With the jeweler. With the woolen draper. We were here. Shoemaker. Washerwoman. Give me my boots, as the streets must be dirty. Where are my slippers? Take away, give us the dessert. What, grapes already? They cannot be ripe. They are quite green.
Rich people crying over sour grapes.
Yes. No, thank you. I never eat it. I would rather have half of a pigeon. Which half would you like, sir?
Which half? Would you like the head or would you like the other part?
But the other end.
The head or the anus, sir?
John, place that dish near me that I may serve the fowl. Pray, sir, what is there in that flask covered with straw before you?
Very good question.
And what if it wasn't covered with straw? But then where do you find that? Give me some of that partridge, if you please. Taste this pie, sir. With pleasure. Some more crust, if you please.
Yes, just give me a bit of the crust.
Well, at least they sound more polite.
Yes, only when they're around the dinner table with people of their status.
Yes. Tea, eat some dessert, taste this. This fish is excellent. There's always salmon. Anthony, desire them to serve dinner. Tell the cook.
Will Hodges says sounds like a yeast infection.
Before I eat my peach, I will have a little cheese. Okay. I'm very much inclined to be sick. What bird is that? Here's my passport. I think the sea is very rough. Some water. I shall ask these peasants who are coming towards us if the road by which they have come is bad.
Hark, peasants.
But the road is very steep and hilly, and it is full of stones. Are there precipices? Keep away from that ditch. It is full of mud. To whom does that large country house belong?
It seems we may never find out how to get our leeches.
Well, I'm almost positive they're here somewhere. Are the ends good? Are the beds clean?
Will Hodges says that the peasants will take your money and your virginity.
It lightens, which means the lightning happened. It lightens. Es blitzt.
Oh.
I see a rainbow, which is a sign of fine weather. In a shop. How much by the year? Is it necessary to be able to swim?
Life's tough questions, I suppose.
Who gives the concert? Maybe go dressed. Which are the most elegant edifices in this town? I want my coat brushed. Bring me my account. Give me my bill. Carry my luggage.
Do this, do that.
I want some rhubarb. Oh, I want some medicine, some salt, rhubarb, chamomile, blue pills. Have you fresh leashes? These do not bite.
They do not bite. I mean, I figured.
Avete sanguisce fresca? Sanguishuga. Sangui.
Sugar sangui?
Well, no, sanguishuga. So bloodsucker.
Sanguishuga. It would literally just be a bloodsucker.
Well, that's what leeches are, bloodsuckers. So, avete sanguishugas fresca? Questa non staccano.
Questi non staccano?
Staccano.
Well, that would mean that they would detach themselves. So literally, these ones are not.
They don't stay. You want the bloodsucker to bite and stay and suck all your blood.
Yeah, but if it's saying questi non staccano, that would mean, that sounds to me at least, I might be mistaken that they're not detaching from you.
Oh, I see. No, they should. Please to change them for others. Avete la botta di cambriarla, whatever that is.
Oh, cambriarla?
Yeah.
What was it?
It's please to change them for others.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes, yeah. Avete le altre per cambiarla, or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't.
Anyway, so I did find it. Yay.
Yes, we found the leeches, which is always essential, okay, I guess, since it's in the book.
If you travel to places in Europe, you make sure you have fresh leeches. I'm going to sign off shortly here, mister.
Yep, I've got to go ahead and make my dinner anyway.
Okay.
Here is the last dame of the evening.
I shall spit in your bisque. Well, you drew your dame very with. Is that the person bringing her some fresh leeches?
I suppose it could be leeches. I had drawn it as flowers, but there you go. But I don't discount leeches.
Okay. Well,
the others wouldn't bite.
The others wouldn't bite. Okay. Well, it was good seeing you, and it was nice seeing all the rest of you that came in to say hi. And
Yes, thank you for showing up, everybody.
I'm gonna talk to you all later. Bye bye. Ciao ciao.
Ciao, ciao.